If you meet any good Muslim today, whether he is an educated person or an uneducated person, whether you meet him in South Africa or you meet him in Pakistan or you meet him in Saudi Arabia or you meet him anywhere else, and inquire from him as to what he understands by an Islamic life, you will come to the conclusion that in most cases, probably in all cases, the reply would be that Islam is the name of 5 things: Kalima-i-Shahada, Salat, Saum, Zakat and Hajj. That is correct in a way, but very, very incorrect. Very, very incorrect from the basic point of view. The fact is, before I say about the fact is, I should say that this attitude or this point of view has made Islam for us a sort of cult, at which I have been remarking at certain meetings. Some of you might have been angry with me as to why I am saying this, but it is so. These 5 things, if they are taken as a complete system of life, they form a cult. For a person who pursues them only ritualistically, and naturally for the common man and even for some of those big people who claim to be leaders of Islam, I have yet to meet persons who know how to pray and who know how to fast. I have yet to meet persons who know how to perform the Hajj. But the fact is that these 5 things are the foundations of Islam. The Holy Prophet ﷺ has said, Buniyal Islamu ala khamsin. The Islamic way of life has been founded on these 5 things. Remember, he says that the Islamic way of life has been founded on these 5 things, that Islam, he uses the word Islam. Buniyal Islamu ala khamsin. Al-Islam or Islam has been founded on these 5 things: the Shahada, prayer, fasting during Ramadan, Zakat and Hajj. Now, just try to think about it. It is something very simple. If you have a friend, if there is a person who lays the foundations of a house or of a building, and after laying the foundations of that building, he invites all his friends to a tea party to congratulate him on his achievement, what will his friends think about him? They'll say he has gone mad. Because although he has laid the foundations of that building, the foundations are only a means and not an end. The end of laying the foundations was to construct the building for a certain purpose, whether that building was to be a home or that building was to be a commercial area or anything else. So, anyone who leads his life without these foundations is not a Muslim. That is clear, absolutely clear. However good he may be, but he is not a Muslim, according to the Holy Prophet ﷺ. He may be very virtuous and he may be very pious and he may be this or that, but the Holy Prophet ﷺ has said that these are the foundations of Islam, and the Holy Prophet ﷺ alone is the teacher of Islam and nobody else. Right. But if there is a person, as probably most of us are, very unfortunate, who spends the whole life only in laying the foundation. And then is called by God Almighty, now come, you have spent your time here. And he goes there without building the structure of Islam on it, without building Islam. I should say Islam, because the Holy Prophet ﷺ says, Buniyal Islamu ala khamsin. So it means that there is something which is called Islam, and there are the foundations for that something. So Islam has not been built. Remember this. Remember this. Only the foundations have been laid. And of course, when we lay the foundations, it all depends upon the engineer whom we employ, how solid those foundations are. The foundations themselves may be very solid and very good, and they may also be of a very meager variety, you see, or very weak. And then again, unfortunately, even these foundations are laid by most of us because of ignorance. Because of ignorance, they are very, very weak. So, we go from this world to face Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to face His beloved Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, whom every one of us is going to face immediately after death. The Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, we are going to face immediately after death. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala we will face on the day of judgment. Because it is said in the Hadith Sahih in Sihasitta, that Hadith is there accepted by all the ulama, that when a person dies and he is laid in the grave, the angels come to him and question him. The first question is, Mar Rabbuk? Who is thine Lord? The second question is, Mada taqulu li hadha ar-rajul? Every person who is dead is shown the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. He sees the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and the angel says, what do you say about him? So every person, whether he is a Muslim or a non-Muslim, after his death, the first personality he has to face besides the angel is the Holy Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Now, when we go from this world, and we go in this fashion, if at all we go, God forbid that we go in this fashion, but if we go in this fashion, that even though we lived here for 100 years, we were just employed like a child who plays with his toys and sometimes tries to build a house and then it falls again, and then builds another house of sand and then it falls again. You see, just trying to build the foundations of Islam, nothing beyond that, and thinking as if we are covering the entire field of our obligation as Muslims. What a pity. And even these foundations, very unfortunately, as I'll just now tell you, from the Quran and the Sunnah, even these foundations which we lay are in most cases of an absurd variety. They are foundations only nominally. This is because we do not take the trouble of reading the Quran. Maulana is here. The ulama